Hi everyone. Today I'll be talking about three teen books. The first book is Each Night Was Illuminated by Jody Lynn Anderson. The second book is Wild Oak by C.C. Harrington. And the third book is The Outdoor Scientist by Temple Grandin. Now, what do these three books have in common? The ever-evolving world of climate change and saving our natural world. Do you want to read more about climate change but aren't a science nerd? Do you want to know more about what we do on a daily basis and the impacts it has on the world in which we live? Do you want to know what you can do to observe the natural world and how to become a naturalist? Then read these books, which can be found in your local library. To picture Manhattan in the flood, you have to try to picture it like this: the city, up to its knees in water, a back of bristled buildings, rising in a river that's joined to the sea. I lie floating, fighting for my breath, and watch it come into view. This is the beginning of Each Night Was Illuminated by Jody Lynn Anderson. Imagine being caught in a flood and fighting for your life while not knowing if your family is alive or dead. Imagine losing your faith but believing in ghosts. This is how we first meet Cassie. Cassie grew up in a small religious town, Green Valley, with her father and older sister. Her mother abandons the family when Cassie is 11 years old and thus changes her life forever. First, Cassie meets Elias, who is visiting from Australia, his relatives for the summer. One day, Cassie and Elias hike up a mountain, and what they saw altered their lives forever. A bridge that spanned Green Valley's reservoir collapses due to weather changes, sending a train plummeting into the water. Eliza saw spirits of the dead rising into the sky. However, Cassie lost her belief in God. She wonders how they could see the same thing and come away with something so different. Eliza goes back to Australia while Cassie struggles with losing her faith. She ignores the letters from Eliza while struggling with the ever-growing discord of religious fanatics brought together by the local priest, along with the concerns of major floods on the brisk of happening through global warming. She experiences insomnia due to things going wrong in the world: floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, major storms, wind, solar power, to name a few. Then in the senior year of high school, Elias returns and wants to reconnect with Cassie. He asked her two questions. Did you see the ghosts and spirits rise from the train wreck? And will she help him find them? Cassie decides to help Elias as she reasons that she will find some answers to growing questions about faith, hope, and humanity. Maybe she can forge a new path to the never-ending problems of climate change and save her town from what may happen if there is another flood or disaster. As Cassie and Elias grow closer and find more clues to what happened the night of the train wreck, the local news dominates with pending climate change disasters. Can they find the answers they need to remain strong in the face of crises, both personal and global? Will they find the ghosts and spirits? Did a flood hit Green Valley? And if so, do Cassie and Eliza survive? What can they do to help people understand climate change disasters? Each Night Illuminated by Jody Lynn Anderson is a book that is thought-provoking with magic, ghost, belief, faith, and hope for both humanity and our planet that is struggling to endure, despite what humanity has brought upon it. Wild Oak by C.C. Harrington is about an endangered forest, an abandoned snow leopard, and a child who only feels comfortable talking to animals. It is a gentle story of a child finding a voice and a cause in the natural world. When fates collide, the unbelievable can happen. What happens if we all stop and listen to the messages held within the ancient trees and woodland floors? What if we stopped and saw the beauty and courage in each other and our world? A van slowly drives into the forest and a man got out. He opened the back of the van and said, "This will do." He unlocked a cage that had no business carrying what it carried. Maggie has a lot to say, but can't say the words because of a bad stutter. Maggie goes to live with her grandfather Fred near Wild Oak Forest after getting into trouble at school. Fred is the village doctor and has a love of nature. More importantly, though, he is kind and patient with Maggie. There she discovers Rumpus, an abandoned snow leopard cub. Rumpus was an exotic gift to a wealthy Londoner that proved too wild to domesticate. Rumpus was dumped into the woods as a cub, only knowing cages as his homes. He must learn to survive on his own, hunting for food in the local village. Rumpus is caught in a trap left for a bear by the villagers. Maggie finds him and nurses him back to health, but discovers a plot to bulldoze Wild Oak Woods when the hunters come to see if anything is caught in the trap. Maggie realizes that she must use her voice to speak for those who cannot. Does this sound familiar? It's like the Lorax who speaks for the trees. Maggie listens to the trees and the magic they whisper. Be gentle with yourself. It's hard to be human. Grandfather Fred doesn't believe Maggie about Rumpus until he sees him when she asks for his help to save him from the trap. He doesn't understand the dangers of the villagers regarding deforestation, even though Maggie tries her hardest to tell him. Does Maggie overcome her stuttering and learn to use his voice to save Rumpus in the forest? Does Rumpus survive and find a home? Does the forest get torn down and houses built? Is this a reality in today's world, or destruction of the natural world around us? Do we take the time to listen to nature and believe in its wisdom and beauty? Read Wild Oak by C.C. Harrington, shimmering with beauty, compassion, and exploration of the interconnectedness of humans, animals, and nature. The Outdoor Scientist by Temple Grandin is a book which includes 40 projects which observing the natural world. This book is divided into 6 sections: rocks, the beach, the woods, birds, the night sky, and animal behavior. While only the introduction and conclusion read like a story, the book is fascinating. Temple Grandin is an animal behaviorist. She is a proponent for humane treatment of livestock for slaughter and has written over 60 pages on animal behavior. She is also an autism spokesperson, being diagnosed as an adult. As a child, she discovered nature on her aunt's ranch and began her observations into the natural world. Have you ever wondered what rocks are made of? Why the sand is grainy and coarse? What leaves or trees are common in the areas in which you live? And do your pets feel, have emotions, along with many other questions? Today, more than ever, people are asking these questions and many more. Some of these answers are in this book. There are great global projects known as citizen science in which you can participate. These efforts include projects such as contamination in the environment, measure levels of climate change and pollution, tracking and saving endangered species, along with other experiments. Want to know about whales and what is under the sea? Read Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, about a marine biologist who fights underwater sea creatures. Read and learn about Jacques Cousteau. Learn how to make your own sand and sea crystals. Interested in birds and learning how to fly? Learn about the Wright brothers or the first astronauts. Learn how to make a kite or listen to the Greek myth about Icarus and his father Daedalus. Want to learn about the night sky? Study Katherine Johnson, who worked at NASA, in her story Hidden Figures, along with other female mathematicians. Learn how to make a constellation map or your own rocket. Finally, curious about your cat or dog's behavior? Learn how to observe them using an ethogram, which is listening to their behaviors and taking notes. Do you think you can't change the world? You are wrong. 16-year-old Greta Thunberg in 2016 stood outside her school in Stockholm with a poster that read, "School Strike for Climate." She was 11 when she started to learn about climate change. She addressed the UN Climate Change Conference and World Economic Forum. She had a goal in mind: reverse climate change. She read about this and Temple Grandin, her papers about the natural world, and like Temple, she is autistic. You too can change the world. The best way is to educate yourself through observations and experiments in The Outdoor Scientist by Temple Grandin. Reading Each Night Was Illuminated by Jody Lynn Anderson, Wild Oak by C.C. Harrington, and The Outdoor Scientist by Temple Grandin. These books are only the iceberg into the world of climate change and being a naturalist or citizen scientist. There is so much to do and learn about global warming, environmentalist, along with saving our planet Earth and its inhabitants, including ourselves. Find these books and many more about these topics in your school or local library.